that are Lab to Market live. With me, as always, is Fuad Mia, my co-founder and co-host.
Hello, everyone. Thank
How
you,
you
Justin.
been, Fuad? I think we took a week off of this, didn't we?
I think returning back from the trip, and it is summertime, we needed a little bit of time to catch up on a lot of things.
Oh yeah, I've been LinkedIning harder than I've ever LinkedIn before. If that makes sense. Are these words?
Absolutely. I mean, Google became a verb, and once you do it enough, it becomes
Yeah,
an act.
LinkedIning is now a verb.
That's how
Also
it's
with us
done.
as usual is Blue Cap, our little buddy. If anyone's
Yeah.
unfamiliar with it, it's our conversational AI here to make your meetings and conversations that much better because you don't have to take notes.
Hello, Blue Cup. And a little bit about us. We are from Uncanny Lab, and we are a Google technology partner, as well as Google authorized service partners and sales partners. We established our company. It's been a little over 2 years now, and we work in the healthcare sector, in the transportation sector, nonprofit, insurance, and as well as many other verticals. Wherever you think technology could augment your operation or help you operate your business or optimize your customers' experience, make better business that is.
Fuad is the most humble analytics expert you will ever talk to.
Well, you're too kind, Justin.
See, there it is. All right, so what do we got on the plate this week, Fuad? I think we're talking about APIs and how clever organizations use them to solve problems. Problems that traditionally would require a lot of manpower, a lot of man hours, or people hours, I should say.
Or time, right? Time to market, time to production, time to solution. We have seen that the economy of API is becoming pretty big. It is becoming instrumental to actually going to market rapidly. It is becoming instrumental to actually getting things done and getting things done that would be almost impossible otherwise if you had to do everything yourself.
A lot of it is tedium, right? I mean, I've been a developer for 13, 14 years now. And, traditionally you want to do something as simple as send an email to your clients. I mean, you're now managing a mail server, you're managing the reputation score of that mail server, the IP reputation. Uh, and, these days it's just like, all right, I'm going to sign up to Mailgun, connect with their API and shoot out as much mail and even SMS as I want.
Absolutely. And imagine if you had to do that all by yourself. Think about the
I've done that all by myself in the past.
it's tedious, right? And you lose the competitive advantage by the time you are done. Right now, I mean, simple use cases. Think about how you're integrating your email with CRMs. You could be interacting and communicating no matter where you are at the given time, seamlessly. You're doing your tasks, and that increases your productivity. And not only just that, now your email can interact with other data, with other customer platform data that could augment the context of comprehension whenever you are consuming it. Whatever the purpose is, it's just going to give you that much more relevant and contextual, objective, purpose-driven insights for your own users.
I, I I mean, we're even coming to people live on multiple channels right now using a software that's built on APIs. I mean, we're looking at the YouTube API, Facebook API, LinkedIn API, and Twitter API. We're using them right now to talk to everybody at the same time. So it's incredible what people have built using this wild world of APIs that are out there.
And and as these APIs, the economies of APIs are increasing, comes the challenges of managing these APIs, measuring this, keeping them always secure and optimized. We have been seeing those platforms and solutions rising as well, like Google. Correct me if I'm saying it wrong. I always say AppG is a great platform as well that really accelerates all of your API initiatives. If you were to
I don't know
build
how to say it properly. It's a mystery to me too.
if you were to manage, dozens to hundreds of APIs for your application, imagine how difficult it would be to building the analytics of that, building, all of these other things that you need to monitor, and so forth. But
Guess
let's
what? I'm a developer. I don't think about analytics. Remember?
and those problems are great problems usually, because at that phase you're growing. But having those right from the beginning will help you leap forward during those phases without stress and worries and so forth. But Justin, let's talk
Absolutely.
about some real use cases. We could start from very simple use cases, for example, customer experience. On the website that will resonate with many of us. We have all seen this. And this is a game of API, which is, let's talk about Google Map API, or Canada Post API, where you validate. Actually, that could be for many purposes. You could be using it for auto-filling suggestively, to take away your customer's pain, the address, I mean, um,
Hmm.
um, so that I have to do less as a user. The another purpose could be you are actually validating the address so that your shipping and all of this other information could be accurate, and you could use that actually to increase the efficiency of your operation. Your
Well,
package now.
that's a boon because it's interesting because when you're talking about validation like that, the previous way of doing it would have been to get some sort of export, perhaps from Canada Post, perhaps from some third party, put it in a database and validate against that database every time. Now it's up to you to keep it up to date. It's up to you to make sure it's working smoothly. Whereas, now that we can tap right into Canada Post or, even USPS in the States, um,
Yeah.
you have that live access to, real time data about people's addresses and where they live, and getting that accurate information you need to actually
Mhm.
work with the postal service to get packages and mail to where people need it.
And what you just said is so powerful, Justin, because time to doing that transaction, that business, let's say I have a solution that I sell to you. And if I do that manually, once I make my changes and I have, let's say, millions of businesses that use my API, sorry, my solution, how long and how much effort that would take versus as if that was an programmatic integration.
Hmm.
Uh, and that's what we have done for CAA. If actually, let me see if I can share my screen here.
Yeah,
I
sure.
should be able to there. And
Mm.
what we let's take example here, right here, that we have built for CAA membership of sign up flow. As you go through this form, we have an address form. I'm just going to quickly do this so that you can see what's happening here. I'm not going to give my real email address here. Let's say that. But if you
You
sign
almost did. That was. I'm gonna
up,
have to blur that now.
mobile it is. My phone number could be whatever. But you know what? And this is a great example. Our customer CAA is actually would be validating all this if I already exist beyond this step. If my name and phone number match, then that's a very strong signal that I
Hmm.
already exist, and then I could be given, the experience where I left off, or I could be given a particular price or option, that, or I would be validated. Let's say if I'm already an active member, it it don't let me buy again. That would actually not be revenue for the business. That would be an operational cost. Fixing that error afterwards. So these kind of things would be powerful, right? And that's exactly what CA is doing here. So I just put random number. They won't be able to validate me. But I want to show you here validation of the address. They are taking actually whether it's a house or apartment. Often, if you remember, if you live in an apartment, Accidentally, you may leave the apartment number,
Apartment number. Yeah.
right? And where would your package end up? On top of, or maybe it would never come, or it would be misplaced. Those kind of things are going to be problematic user experience nuisance for the user because their expectation will be broken. The package won't be received at the time. And in terms of the business, your cost for operation would be unnecessary. That you could avoid. So let's take a look at this. I would say some random address, but I know that this address actually validates. Um, Now, two address, Kitchener and Nepean. If I select the Kitchener, CAA Northeast Ontario, they actually won't be taking my membership because I happen to fall out of the area that they serve. Now,
They're trying to steal some Southern Ontario business.
no, but just imagine how expensive it would have been if I was able to sign up with the wrong chapter of
Oh,
CNA.
oh, absolutely. Because you're in the wrong cost center. You're
Mhm.
throwing off the entire data. So I mean, someone has to now physically move you to the correct chapter. Yeah, it's a nightmare.
It's a nightmare. Now, let's say I actually uh, choose the right address.
Oh,
Look at that. It validates instantly. And then, and this will probably take a couple of seconds here, it's validating all of those things. Do I qualify for prices? Do I qualify actually as a new and so forth? It looks like I got lucky. Yes, I did.
and I think this is where it also gets pretty interesting because we're talking about APIs as services you buy from someone else. Uh, the structure of this application is really interesting because they have an internal team that's built a microservice to interact with their back end infrastructure with our kind of front end buy flow. So, even the creation of this is all API based as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. The next thing we're going to show you is a little bit more advanced use case, where you would see that not only we are bringing traditional, not we are solving traditional use cases, but we are building complete new capabilities using API services.
Mm.
And let's take a look at that. And Justin, I'm going to have you as a patient, or actually, yeah, or I could be the
Is this
patient.
is this gonna work through here?
Yeah, it should.
Okay, okay.
You may have to talk a little bit louder because your sound. Actually, no, I think,
I think if you
yeah,
share the Restream audio tab in an online,
wh-
it might work.
which may be difficult for me, someone who's not as tech savvy. Um, but let me put my speaker on, which it is already, and it should capture. Well, let's just warn our customers, our audience, that it may not accurately capture your audio because you are streaming your audio from my speakers from online. I would point my microphone towards my speaker. There we
All
go.
right, I'm actually gonna put the pictures of us back on so you can see the horror in my eyes when this goes. I'm just kidding.
Now,
Let's give it a shot.
before we start, just so that you get a little bit of signal, what you're going to see is going to be a consultation between a patient and a doctor, and in real time we would process the data. I mean, before that we'll capture the data, and then we'll clean it, we'll process it, and we'll create a database out of it. Database that you often would create either manually much later, or a database that you will create after the streaming happens, after actually the actual consultation happens. And from there, we'll also create other intelligence that will make the application more powerful, more capable in terms of serving purposes and intents and tasks that in healthcare a doctor would do. And many other possibilities. If you happen to be data scientist or in healthcare or any other business, you'd see how you could take this digitized data and insights that you'll be producing for many different other use cases. But the first use case that you should try to emphasize on is being able to create a database in real time out of capturing data, cleaning, processing, and the insights that you're capturing, and then creating solutions out of that. So here we go, Justin. I forget who's going to be the patient. I think
Who's the patient? Do you want to be the doctor? Or, yeah, you be the doctor. Dr. Fawad.
sure. My finger was in the wrong key. There we go. We'll say you were born today.
I mean, a lot of people say that.
Hey, Justin, what brings you in today?
I've had this persistent cough over the last 3 or so weeks.
Oh, tell me more. Is it dry? Is it does it have any mucus?
It's pretty dry. I would say it's definitely a dry cough, not producing anything.
Okay. And any fever at all?
No fever. Well, you know what? At the very beginning, I did have a bit of a fever.
Gotcha. And anything you noticed, headache or tiredness?
Yeah, I was pretty tired around the time that this started. Yes.
But now you are no longer tired?
No, it's not so much that. It's just the lingering cough.
Okay. And has this happened before in the past?
Um, Not to this extent. I mean, a couple of days, but never multiple weeks.
Do you smoke, Justin?
I do not.
Okay. And have you taken any medications to alleviate your symptoms?
Just some over-the-counter cough syrup.
Okay. What was it, if you don't mind me asking?
Robitussin.
Okay. Um, well, let's open your mouth.
I'm not doing that on camera. Yes, sir.
Well, look, there's no infection or anything. Um, your lung sounds normal so far. I'll have to run some tests. I'll send you for a chest X-ray. Um, the fever is concerning to me. It sounds like it could be an infection, perhaps a lung infection. I would prescribe you some anti-inflammatory, some prednisone, in the meantime. And I would like to see you in 10 days, and your X-ray should be back, should be in by then. Okay.
Thank you, doctor. I
And
feel better already.
in the meantime, if you want, you can take Tylenol, you can take Advil, um, and stay hydrated. Okay.
That's good advice. Thank you. See, that's why I let you be the doctor, Fawad. You're much better at it than me.
Am I?
I think so. I ask silly questions.
Well, maybe doctors who are watching it, I haven't done any good thing.
Oh yeah, they'll shake their heads at both of us. Like, what are you both doing?
Well, let's take a look. What we're doing. I'm actually gonna go back here. Information. As you can see, as the consultation happened in real time,
Maybe you want
we
to zoom in a little bit for the audience there, Fawad.
absolutely.
Perfect. Right
As
there.
the consultation happened, transcription, yes, so that yes, diarization, we understand all of that, but we actually also understand all of the medical context. And you could label your conversation as it comes in real time, and your database is getting created in real time. Now, this database could be used for whatever purpose, your EMR, your AI and machine learning and analytics, right? Which patients are coming for what reasons, what segment, what cohort, what is bringing them more than usual times, what are the deviations. predictions, and all of these other things become now possible because you are being able to capture data at the speed you need and with the security that you also require in the healthcare domain, also provided by providers. Let's say Google offers a subset of APIs known as healthcare API, where you can easily comply how you manage your healthcare data, um, and you're right away compliant. So so that kind of capabilities that you can create value and you can productionize them also that much faster with other API solutions built by many different creative organizations. Now here, as you can see, oops, that's because it's magnified. Everything is categorized. Not only that, it actually also understand all kinds of contextual relationship
Some
that
hierarchies in terms of connected ideas, eh?
right. So if I actually had told, or if Justin said what dosage of the syrup that he takes, or what dosage of Tylenol I would like to, I would recommend him, and so forth. All of those things should be properly understood. If he told us that his right toe of his left leg, it would be understood even in an unstructured way if the fact was discovered throughout the conversation, not necessarily through a singular statement. It is capable enough to understand all of those context immediately.
And
Now
all of
let's
this
take a
is running
look.
on top of medical API, as you said.
Correct. Correct. It's a combination of Google Cloud and AWS and Microsoft, as well as proprietary services by Uncanny Lab. Not services, creations by Uncanny Lab. My apologies.
So if you imagine, I mean, this ICD-10 database that we're kind of basing everything on, that's something that we would have had to kind of build and curate had we not used these services.
Right. I mean, imagine we are actually producing inferences immediately with the evidences, the artifacts presented in the consultation, and we are presenting the near proximity, other possibilities of the symptoms and diagnosis that the doctor may want to consider, right, as an assistive proximity
That's
contextual.
very cool because I imagine these databases, they may not be the most rapidly updated things, but it's from my understanding that ICD-11 is coming out. So how does that API kind of help us in terms of upgrading to ICD-11?
Well, that's exactly the use case that you mentioned. As soon as it's productionized, you have access to it, and I think it's already there, right? We just have to productionize it ourselves here, and then
Amazing.
it's ready. Now, another thing, let's take a look. This in USA, identification of symptoms, disease, and all of these things that you have to include for the insurance providers for your claims ends up taking lots of manual labor. Now, this could be as simple as a click from the doctor a perspective when the consultation is being provided. A second of work is replacing hours of work by multiple other admins and staffs that would be doing it in traditional workflow. And not only that, the chances of errors interpretation, right, from doctor to staffs are going away. Therefore, your time to your cash flow, your clinic's revenue suddenly becomes faster, less errorness. So less cost for management and more efficient overall. Let's take a look other possible intelligence that you can create using large language generative models and your our own proprietary fine tuning and hyper tuning. We can create and provide other intelligence on top of that, which is immediately as the consultation is done, the summary is provided and recorded within the consultation from the consultation, so that the physician can consume the entire consultation that was provided in micro moments. Whenever they are doing the paperwork and so forth, the
Hmm.
facts will be present right here.
I
And so,
feel like as a patient, if I got that information, it'd be pretty good too. Because one of the things when my dad comes home from the doctor is, "What did you and the doctor talk about, Dad?" "Oh, I don't know, some things."
yeah, and I mean, that absolutely, absolutely very powerful use case, right? And from the bigger perspective, from the population health, from predictions and those kind of other possibilities as industrial revolution 4.0, that we touch things with, we're going to see much more with these kind of possibilities with IoT driven data streaming and so forth. Would be able to actually detect a lot of events much earlier, right, in these stages to prevent them, such as strokes, such as blindness from diabetics and so forth. That Google is already testing out in certain parts of the world. Um, so yeah, so this is a great example. Would love to take any questions. If not, you can jump to the next example.
Now, Fuad, did you still have that 240?
Oh yes, thank you for reminding me. I think we can do the other example another time. And as we know that we're going to do series of live streams on cloud, how cloud empowers businesses, and APIs would be very, very central to that. So we'll definitely cover more real world use cases, how APIs could.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and, I,
So
and
go ahead.
yeah, that's a great idea. Well, we'll do it in the next one. But like to summarize this, it's just to show how something as small as an address validation to sending an email to getting medical information in context in dialogue can be achieved with APIs. And I mean, there's just so much out there, and there's a lot of people making money selling APIs. I mean, we're playing with it too. I think we have I don't know if we want to talk about it yet, but we got an API coming out that's pretty interesting.
Hmm. Great.
We'll do that. We'll do a live on it when it's ready. Um, but yeah, it's a whole ecosystem and business realm that's very interesting. Just the amount of things that people are doing that you can tap into, and accelerate your development, exponentially.
100% agree. I think this is a secret that we're giving away, and every business should take advantage of this.
Yeah, I mean, if you're non-technical, I mean, what's an API, right? It's an acronym, but uh,
Precisely.
once you see the useful uses of it, it's a powerful way to get things done in less time.
Agree.
All right, Fuad, I will let you go. I know you have to pick up your kids. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
everyone, for
Thank
tuning
you.
in to another episode of Lab to Market Live. See you next time.
See you next time.